Hey everyone, and welcome to this tutorial for painting a power sword blade. First of all, I want to show the different transitions we're going through while painting the power sword. The base coat is dark sea blue, and from this base coat I add Zodiac green, then Scarsnet green, and at last white for the extreme highlight. To create a contrast on the sword, we also need to add a shade. This shade starts from Naggaroth Night and adding Abaddon Black for the darkest areas. Remember to add plenty of water to your glazes. I usually add 1 part of paint to 3 to 5 parts of water. It really depends on the pigment of the paint. So let's get started. So the first step is to glaze the areas we want to look shiny. Make a 1-to-1 mix of dark sea blue and Zodiac green and glaze the areas you want to appear shiny. On a source of this size, I would recommend 3 to 4 shiny areas. Make sure to leave space for the dark sea blue base in between the shiny areas. These areas we will get back to later. Now we make a glaze of only Zodiac green and we glaze it more towards the middle of the previous glazed area. Add 1 part of Scarsnick green to the Sodic green glaze from before, and once again focus on the center of the glazed area. If your transitions aren't that smooth as you wanted, just go back to the previous stage and glaze over the areas until you're happy. Try to make the glaze as thin as possible by adding lots of water. Now add a small amount of white to the Scarsnick green and Sodic green mix and focus on the very center of the glazed area. Now we reached the final stage of the shiny areas. And now we want to add a highlight of just white in the center of the previous glaze. Take your time on this stage and do very thin layers, as we don't want to have any white stains on the other transitions. Now it's time to focus on the shaded areas. Make a glaze of Naggaroth Night and shade the areas that are still base coat dark sea blue, but still leaving a small space of dark sea blue in between the shiny areas and the shaded areas. Now add a small amount of Abaddon Black to the Naggaroth Night glaze and focus on the very center of the previous glaze. Now we have all the areas we want to be glazed on the power sword. The last step is now to edge highlight the power sword. Make a 1-to-1 mix of Scarsnick green and white and highlight all the edges. This included the middle pointy area of the sword. As you can see, I used the edge of my brush to highlight. This gives me the most control of the highlight, and at the same time it gives a smooth and sharp edge highlight. And now the power sword is done. I hope you found it useful, and feel free to ask me any questions regarding this video. Have a nice day.